Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys checking out today's video. And we're going to be talking about one of the best March lures that you can throw, and that's the little bitty number 5 Retrieval Shad Rap. This thing's been around forever. It is a staple in the month of March. Today I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it and where you want to fish it around, and I think it's going to add up to some good fish for you guys. Also, guys, for getting started, a couple quick housekeeping tips. I just wanted to remind everybody, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do that by just going to my Facebook page, Randy Blockett, Professional Angler. Just shoot me a private message and I can give you all the details about my lessons. And also, I'd like to invite everybody to please hit that subscribe button here to The Fishing Teacher. That'd be really appreciated. We're trying hard to get to 20,000 subscribers and really appreciate the help there. Okay, guys, this is one of the oldest crankbaits of all time that is still awesome today, is the Retrieval Shad Wrap. Now, it comes in 4 or 5 different sizes, but the one I want to talk about today is the number 5 Shad Wrap, which is the small one. This thing's probably only about 2 inches long, maybe a little bit less. It's a light bait. You got to throw it on a spinning rod. Small diameter, it's silent, and this is what makes it so deadly during the month of March. It's a very subtle crankbait. It doesn't make any noise. It's got a tight wobble to it. It's very diminutive. And if you guys have been fishing much over the past couple weeks, there's a lot of shad that die this time of year. Last part of February, first part of March is some of the biggest shad die-off times of the year. And guys, this is the size of a lot of those shad that die. You got 2 different age classes of dying shad. You got the bigger shad, like the 3 and 4 and 5 inch ones, sometimes they're gizzard shad. And you got those little bitty late hatch threadfin shad, which the Shad Wrap resembles here. So there's just something about when that water temperature is around 50 degrees and you've got these fish that are wanting to move up. They're not really shallow yet, but they're wanting to move up. When you get the right set of conditions, guys, this little Shad Wrap is going to be just a killer for it. Also, guys, I'll link this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you guys want to try one out. They got several different colors. Just depending upon the water clarity and the light condition. This crawdad pattern's a really good one, but also, any shad pattern they got's really good. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the equipment, because this is sort of a specialized deal, and we'll talk a little bit about the Retrieve. You got to use this on 6-pound test line. In order to get the depth that you have to get bites this time of year, you can't use it on 8-pound test fluorocarbon. You need to use it on 6-pound test fluorocarbon with a spinning rod and make long casts with it, and also make sure that you got a suspend strip on it, because you want to maximize the depth of this bait. And it only runs about 5 feet deep at the very max, but if you put the suspend strip on it, it may run a little bit deeper, because once you get it down there and you stop it, it doesn't float up. It just keeps digging after you stop it. So I always put a little suspend strip. And I like to put, once I do it, guys, I like to put some red fingernail polish on the suspend strip to take that silver off of there. Usually I fish it on that Megabass Addermine spinning rod or the whip snake. I'll link all that stuff in the description too. So here's what you want to fish, and here's the situations it works in. Even though this is a finessey bait, it doesn't work real good in clear water because you can't get it deep enough. Those fish are a little bit deeper in clear water this time of year. So this is more of a off-colored water bait. For me, the number 5 Shad Wrap works best if you have about water visibility of around 2 feet. Really 2 to 3 feet is perfect for it. 2 to 3 feet is ideal. And then the next thing, you've got to have some type of a situation in the lake that puts those fish a little bit shallower. So you hear me talking a lot about channel banks and bluff banks this time of year. One of the things that I found out about the little 5 Shad Wrap here is you got to fish it on a little bit flatter banks. I haven't done that good on those steeper rocky banks with it. I like to look for clay or gravel or small rock that has a more of a gradual taper that is somewhat close to deep water. So an ideal situation would be like going into a cove or near the entrance of a cove where the fish may be spawning like in a month from now, and crank those flatter banks and try to put your boat in about 10 foot of water, cast it to the bank, and try to hit that, really that 3 to 5 foot zone is key. Like I said, this bait does not run very deep, so you really have to be aware of the depth that you're fishing. Now, it will help you also if you parallel the bank. If you throw this Shad Wrap, like at a 45-degree angle or straight into the bank, the amount of time that this bait is going to be in its sweet spot, or the deepest part of it, is going to be minimal. But whatever bank that you're fishing, parallel that bank. Try to put your boat in where your boat is in 3 to 5 foot of water, and make long casts parallel of the bank so you can hit that 3 to 5 foot of water as much as possible. Another thing about the retrieve on the thing, I sort of fish this thing like a hybrid jerkbait, crankbait. I don't just throw it out there and crank it in. I like to throw it out there, keep my rod tip low, and I crank it down to get the bait down. And then once I get it down, I sort of pull it and maybe just twitch it a little bit, and then reel it a few cranks, twitch it a little bit. So in other words, I'm reeling, instead of just reeling it down, just fishing it just like a crankbait like that, I reel it down to where I think it's at the maximum depth, and then I'll just sort of twitch it a little bit and then pull it like that, stop it, twitch it a little bit, pull it, twitch it a little bit, and then it comes back up. You're not jerking it like a jerk bait, but you're just sort of twitching it like that in one spot. And it seems like when you get that Shad Wrap down at its maximum depth, that's the thing that really triggers a strike more than anything with it. The thing is not easy to cast. There's another thing about it. It's like, that's why you need to use 6-pound test line. If you put 6-pound test line on one Shad Wrap and 8-pound test line on the other one, there is a huge difference in the distance that you're going to be able to cast it, the depth that it's going to attain, and the feel. It's like you don't have the feel with that heavier line. So make sure that you go to 6. And guys, you can land big fish with 6. Don't be intimidated about fishing 6-pound test line, because I caught a 37-pound striper one time on 6-pound line with a jerk bait down at Beaver Lake. You can land giant fish on them as long as they don't just get you around something and break you off, which, you know, if you throw 12-pound line or 15 and it gets you around a stump, you could break off on that too. But anyway, guys, really good in the month of March, especially early in March right now. If you've got water temperatures that are between, say, 45 and 55 degrees, this is a great lure for this time of year. So give it a try. Like I said, I'll link everything in the description, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see y'all later.